Hi, this is Johnny Barnett, here to talk to you a little bit about Chakraology, what it means and what it's all about. Basically, it's a combination of two words, chakra and astrology. The idea in the ancient world and in the esoteric world is that everything is related, especially everything that has a 7 connected to it. So in ancient astrology and in Vedic astrology we have 7 planets. In the chakra system we have 7 chakras, just as we have 7 days of the week, just as we have 7 wonders of the ancient world. There are all these 7s that actually correspond to each other, and as an astrologer I made the obvious connection between the 7 planets, which we as astrologers always describe as internal forces, and the 7 chakras. They're essentially the same thing. When you look at this drawing from roughly 450 years ago, done by a German alchemist, you can clearly see the planet symbols inside of the chakras. And so the idea, you may have heard the expression as above, so below. The idea with the chakras and the planets is as without, so within. In other words, the stars, the planets, are a map of what's happening inside of you. And just as every astrological chart is unique, just as every fingerprint is unique, everyone's chakra system, everyone's internal dynamics is unique to them. And so Chakraology is essentially an astrological look at you with the added language of the chakras, just to expand the conversation so that we can get into the frame of mind that what's going on outside of us is reflecting what's going on inside of us. If you've seen the video or read my book, you will see it's entitled Chakras, Mythology, and Astrological Symbolism. As it turns out, mythology was written as a companion to astrology. So the gods and the goddesses that have adventures and stories and tales in the Greek mythology are actually portraying how these planetary energies are working inside of us. So for example, the planets, as you may have noticed, are all named after these Greek or Roman gods and goddesses. Actually, they're all named after the Romans because the Romans conquered the Greeks. So Jupiter, for example, is a planet. Jupiter is the king of the gods. Jupiter corresponds with the crown chakra. You see the king of the gods. You see how the mythology was written, like I said, to illustrate, to exemplify what's going on inside of us. And of course the day of the week that corresponds with Jupiter the planet and Jupiter the god is Jueves. If you speak Spanish, it's a little more obvious. If you speak English, we took our days of the week from the Germanic gods and goddesses rather than the Roman ones. And so Thor is the equivalent of Jupiter, so we have Thor's Day or Thursday. So you can see how things in the ancient world even carry over into this day, and that they're all tied together. There's connection everywhere you look. And so Chakraology is basically reconnecting the dots that may have been erased by your upbringing or by your schooling or by your religion, and showing you that you are actually very purposeful, very intentional, there is nothing random, and that the planets and the stars around you are reflecting what's going on inside of you. And the mythology of the Greeks helps illustrate the most profound truths that we live our lives through. And so you'll find these truths in great works of literature. You'll find it in Hollywood movies. You'll find it, of course, in the Bible. You'll find it in Shakespeare. You'll find it in Grimm's fairy tales, as well as the Greek mythology. All of these great works of literature and art are reflecting these 7 energy centers, these 7 main forces in our lives. In fact, you can take the first 7 of the 10 Commandments in the Old Testament of the Bible and see that they correspond with these 7 chakras. You can also notice the correspondence in the 7 books of Harry Potter. Basically, everything in between the Bible and Harry Potter, all the great works of literature from way back then up until our present time, are tapping in to these archetypal or these major forces of energy that we all work with. So that's just a little overview on chakraology, what you can expect by either an astrological reading, which can also be called a look at your chakra profile. And if you come to the class, Chakras and Mythology, Astrological Symbolism, I explain this in much greater detail. And of course there's the book also, which goes into even greater detail about how the things that we see in our world, the people we meet, exemplify these gods and goddesses, these forces. We exemplify. From time to time, others more so than some, and other people exemplify the god of war more strongly than, say, the goddess of love. And yet we all have these 7 forces, or these 7 energies inside of us, and combine them in our own unique fashion. And so that's really what an astrological reading does for you. It shows your own unique combination and helps give you what I like to call validation. You're actually supposed to be exactly the way you are. And the astrological reading and the classes on chakraology help you see that you fit in very perfectly to this world, and you're cut out to be just the way you are, because you have your own unique purpose and your own unique mission to fulfill while you're here. And so chakraology simply helps you get in touch with that mission, get in touch with that purpose, and empowers you to step into the role you were born to play.